Hey everyone, it's Sasha, therapist at Lifelong Living Counseling Services. So, how to know if your teenager is experiencing anxiety issues? It can be pretty tricky since teenagers tend to experience a lot of strong emotions, which is completely understandable considering they're transitioning from being a child to an adult. So they do experience a lot of strong emotions. But for this video, I wanted to go through some common ways that you can recognize the specific emotion of anxiety in your teenager. If you would like to grab a free copy of a teen anxiety checklist, which consists of the parent form and the self-report teenage form, you can click the link in the description of this video that will take you to my post about teen anxiety. And there you can grab your free copy of the teen anxiety checklist. So anxiety signs can be divided into 4 categories. Those are physical and behavioral signs, which typically are the most easily recognizable from a parent and caretaker point of view. And then there are the emotional and mental signs. Any sign of anxiety in your teenager should not be ignored or dismissed because it is very helpful to teach your teenager ways to understand and manage anxiety. We have to remember that teens will eventually turn into adults and become the workers and the leaders, the innovators and creators of our world. And we want them to be good at it. So it is good to help your teen understand and manage different emotions like anxiety. Some physical symptoms that a parent or caretaker can recognize in their teen experiencing anxiety is if they complain of stomach issues a lot, or if they complain of stomach issues prior to certain situations, and that issue cannot be connected to any other medical condition or medical issues. They may make comments on headaches or muscle aches, muscle tension, or chest pains. Again, that's not linked to any other medical condition. They may experience a lot of fatigue or have sleep difficulties. They might be sleeping too much, or they may have trouble concentrating. Another sign can be dizziness, or their breathing can become very shallow, or they may comment that their heart is beating really fast, or they may say they're having trouble breathing. You might notice some shakiness or trembling. So an example of a situation where you might notice anxiety is if every time your teenager is getting ready to go to school or to go into the virtual classroom, they experience stomach aches or stomach issues. This might indicate that they have some anxiety issues surrounding academics, or maybe pair relations or something else. Some emotions that come along with anxiety can be anger outbursts, shame, they may feel embarrassed or confused, they may feel guilty or feel a sense of sadness. An example of a situation where a parent or caretaker might notice an emotion going along with anxiety is, let's say your teenager has a test coming up and your teenager is feeling very anxious about that test. As a parent or caretaker, you might naturally want to ask questions about the test, make sure that the teen is studying for the test, and what may happen is the teen becomes really irritable and may lash out or have an anger outburst because they're experiencing this anxiety that they don't really understand and they may not really fully know how to manage. So that's an example of another emotional sign that can indicate your teen is experiencing anxiety. Some thoughts that surround anxiety can be self-critical thoughts or self-hate thoughts or insult to the self. Of course, it is really hard to know what a teenager is thinking. However, one way you can know what the teenager is thinking is by what they say. So an example of what a teen might say if they're having anxious thoughts is, I'm not good at anything, or I'm never gonna accomplish this. They may say I'm stupid, or any sort of insult to themselves. Another way is where they might compare themselves to another person, putting themselves in a more negative light and the other person in a more positive light. So for example, why should I even bother when Mary always gets that award, or something like that. And a lot of times the person they're comparing to is a sibling or a friend. They may also verbally express worries that they have, and whether the worries be based in reality or not, this can indicate that your teen is struggling with anxiety. So listening to what comes out of your teenager's mouth and how it comes out of your teenager's mouth and the situation in which it comes out of your teenager's mouth is really helpful in figuring out what is going on in your teenager's mind. And that does require active listening, which more on that a little bit later. Some behavioral signs can be avoidance behaviors, where they avoid being in certain places or doing certain activities or being around a certain person. So with using the example with the test, maybe a teen might avoid studying or avoid doing the work because they get overwhelmed with anxiety. Or with the school, they may try to avoid going to school because of the anxiety it brings. Another behavior that can indicate anxiety is repetitive behavior such as nail biting or hair pulling. And lastly, if they engage in any sorts of self-harm. I will be making another video on how you can help your teen specifically with anxiety. But very quickly, I do want to say, if your teenager shows signs or expresses signs of anxiety and maybe show that they're struggling, remember to actively listen to them. And what that means is not just listening to the words coming out, but also tapping into that body language as well. It is important to validate their emotions and their experiences, no matter if it seems like something small to you. If it's big to them, then you gotta give them your full attention and try to help them develop problem-solving skills. And if it does seem like too much, it is okay to seek professional guidance. And by the way, if you live in Trinidad, I will be more than happy to provide that guidance for you. Alright, so till next time, thank you for watching. Lil, you wanna say bye? Do you want to say bye? Stand up. Stand up and say, oh, she's back down and begging for belly rubs. That's the support. Bye.